And I was reading a bunch of your interviews prepping for this. And I've never interviewed anyone on
Hmm.
Instagram Live like this before, so please bear with me. But I was fascinated with like your origin story because it didn't sound like you planned on writing your whole life. You went to school for philosophy. So what led you down this path?
You know, no, you're right. I was a philosophy major in undergrad, but before that, I never planned on um, going to college. I never planned on anything but being a farmer. I was just going to
Mm.
drive tractor my whole life. That's where I grew up. That's what you do. You grow up, you drive tractor. So I didn't need high school for that. I didn't even graduate high school. And then the only reason I wound up at college was because I had randomly taken the SATs due to the fact that a girl I wanted to date was taking the SATs, so I signed up. And so I had the SATs in my pocket. And then when I went kind of around the side and got my high school diploma, alternative school route, my mother took me out to dinner and she said, um, you got to get out of this town or it's going to kill you. And she gave me a suitcase and she said, you've always been reading books, so you should be among people who read books. So she said she'd saved up enough to send me to one semester of school. So I went up. I figured I could put off driving tractor for 4 months, and I went up to school. And for the first time in my life, the second week of class, I remember I was we had been assigned a book on Thursday. We showed up for class on Tuesday, and I was in class with, I think, 16 or 17 other people. Every person had read the book. My whole life growing up, I was always the only one who read the book. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not like a social advantage, necessarily.
Yes.
And but I had never experienced, I didn't know there were other people who read books. I always thought I was the weirdo, but I found my weirdos and yeah, but I was a philosophy major. Um and my second semester of school, I'm 19 years old. I'm in the back of a monster classroom. When my advisor had said, do you want to take a monster class? Before he was even finished, I said, yes, of course I want to take a monster class. Turns out what a monster class meant at the school I was going to was a class with 350 people in an auditorium. It was monster in size, not content.
Wow. Right. Not
Yeah.
like actually monsters.
No, that's what I teach a monster lecture course now, but no, it was not actually monsters. And I was sitting in the back with my pen and my notebook. A couple of cops come in, pull me out, and I thought I was in trouble because I was always in trouble back then. But they took me to the hospital because one of my uncles had been hurt very badly, and I was the only family member they could find. So they ditched me there in the ICU, and I stayed with him for 3 days and 3 nights, waiting for him to live or die. And all I had was that pen and that notebook. And I got bored and I wrote a story. And when I came back to my composition classroom on Monday, after missing Wednesday and Friday, I had not written the personal essay I was supposed to write. And so I tore those pages out of my spiral, crimped them at the top, put them on the corner of the instructor's desk. Everyone else had typed theirs up. They had word processors. I just had this spiral. And that instructor should not have read that because it was off assignment and because it was handwritten and torn out of a notebook. But she did. And she gave it to the creative writing faculty who liked it enough to type it up. And they entered it into a departmental contest, which I won and got $50. So that's completely how I landed in writing.
That's wild. I
Mm.
mean, that's a crazy story and a testament to incredible teachers and being able to recognize what
Hmm.
somebody's good at and see that in them and nurture it
Yeah.
because it could have gone the other way, you know. They
Oh
could have
yeah.
not read the paper and you would have been God who knows where.
Oh, I
Um,
know. I would have gone back farming after one semester, probably.
and we would have all missed out on so many stories.
Yeah, but
Um,
maybe I would have been a really good farmer. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, the paths we don't take.